Hey, are you ready to do a whiskey quickie with Bernheim barrel proof? Let's go. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me as we crack for the first time ever Bernheim Original Kentucky Straight Wheat Whiskey. It's a 118.8 proof. It's from the Heaven Hill Distillery. Let's get into it. Pour the first one into the Affinity bottle for all those offended by it. Pour the next one for us to try. Now, as we let this sit and breathe for a minute, let's have a look at the bottle. It's a tall, thin bottle. On the side it says Bernheim Original Wheat Whiskey uses soft winter wheat as the main grain in its recipe and represents the first truly new American whiskey style to be introduced since Prohibition. The newest expression, Bernheim Barrel Proof, is made from barrels of wheat whiskey aged from 7 to 9 years that are mingled together and bottled uncut without chill filtration. So they just gave us all the info we want. And it says right here on the bottle, 51% wheat, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. We've got a batch number. We've got the proof and APV, of course. And on the side, it tells us right there that it is between 7 and 9 years old. Now that is awesome. I like having information on the bottle. And so let's get into the nose. It smells like bread and jam. It's like you took a piece of toast and put some jelly on it. Some nice red mixed berry jelly. As I get a little bit deeper into the nose, I'm getting a little bit more vanilla and caramel. But on the top, it was just toast with jam. All right, let's get into the palate. Cheers, guys. A lot of sweet fruit on the tip of the tongue. Ooh. The back of the palate got a little bit sour, like bitter. Sour or bitter? So from the first sip, I really liked the front of the palate, not so much the back of the palate. Getting a nice, good Kentucky hug. The finish is pretty long, and the after effect, it's nice and mouth coating and watering. Let's go in for another one. Alright, so the second sip was better than the first one. Still have the same feelings about it, to where tip of the tongue, the fruity vanilla berries going on the tip of the tongue. Awesome. Wish it had more of that in the back of the palate. Back of the palate is really dark, and it's just one note. That dark aging wood note with some of those wheat whiskeys. The high proof gives it a nice, good, solid Kentucky hug. So yeah, it's pretty good. The price point is good for this. It's between 60 and 70 bucks depending on where you go. So I would not pay much more than that for this, but if you can find it for, between 60 and 70 bucks, I'd say it's a try once. It's where I don't regret buying the bottle, but I'm not going to rush out and try to buy another one. I'm going to see if it's better over ice. So I'm going to put an ice ball in my Essential AF glass. Pour a little Bernheim on it. Give it a little stir with my Northwest Bourbon bottle stopper. Ooh, that's much lighter. More fruits, more vanillas. Now, you guys know most of the time I drink my whiskey neat. But every once in a while when I get a whiskey that's a little bit dark and a little bit not exciting, throw an ice cube in it and see if that changes it into something that you like a little bit more. There's a few whiskeys out there that I prefer over ice, as opposed to the majority of whiskeys that I prefer neat. This one, Bernheim, I prefer it over ice. Alright, thanks for joining me. Earn, protect, enjoy. Cheers.